On this episode, we will be discussing the Silence of the Lambs. Have you ever wondered why Hannibal was so scary? That's precisely what we're going to help you with on this episode. You'll learn more about films and filmmaking than you ever expected in one podcast.
Welcome to this week's episode of Adult Beverage Film Podcast. Listen to our hosts talk about your favorite movies.
You never know what you're going to get.
And discuss new films with our mystery guests from all over the world. Our guests speak freely about their experiences as directors.
That's a wrap, everybody.
Writers, producers, actors, or whatever contribution they have in the film industry. This is Adult Beverage Film Podcast.
Introduce my co-host, who will be more interesting than a bag of popcorn for sure. These two hosts bring many years of film knowledge to the table, and most consider them movie experts. Laura Truman, who her collection is exceeds anything that I've seen in a long time, is 5,000 plus DVDs and VHS tapes and Laserdisc. I mean, she's got it all in her collection, and probably has another maybe 5,000 to 10,000 in her head if we want to put it all down to it. And then also Patrick Keenan, who most of you have maybe seen on TV or in a movie. He's got over 50 IMDb credits, and he brings a list of knowledge that's just far exceeds anything that anyone would expect in any one human being. And my name is Kent Smith. And each week we'll be having a mystery guest on each podcast. This is going to be so much fun because we're not going to tell you who they are. They're going to have a fake name, kind of a nickname if you want to say. But they will be made up of actors, filmmakers, athletes, and just everyday people coming in to talk about what we all love, and that is film. And while we're doing it, we'll be having an adult beverage to go with it. So let's get right into our first episode, and let's see what can happen. Straight down to the point. We're here to talk about Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Tight.
Word.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that lost 65 viewers.
We're all just instantly scared.
Oh, so this is going to be the great thing about this show is that we've all got different perspectives on what we're bringing to the table to discuss this movie, and I'm glad you guys are here to bring out the true meaning of what this film's about. And I think we all come from different perspectives. We've got actors and film critics, and we're fans. So let's start. The intro I think starts out. It's an exciting part of the story to me right off the bat. I think it sets the tone on Jodie Foster and who she is and what she's accomplishing. It's kind of symbolic of her, what's going on in her career as a cadet, of climbing up this rope and trying to take on her life.
She's working hard.
Good answer.
Look at her. Yeah.
She had to lobby hard to get this role too.
Really?
Because there were other people who are interested in playing it. So
who else could have played Clarice Starling?
Well, that's such a bizarre question after you've already seen the movie and you go, I can't picture anyone besides Jodie Foster. If Julianne Moore, well, maybe later she gets to play that role. But anyone else would seem just inferior at this point. She was just so good in it. And Quantico, Virginia looks a little bit like Transylvania with the weather there. It's really scary. So I don't know if I'd want to go there.
It definitely has that feel, and I like the this part. When they're throwing the title, the credits and such up here. Just the fast pace that's coming, and one of the things too is like there's so many things that Jonathan Demme did in this movie that I think are kind of brain. That they really use the brain to cultivate the story. This climbing over the netting and up the rope, and even if you watch right here in the beginning, you'll notice that all the other cadets are going the opposite direction she is, which I think is
she's doing it backwards.
Exactly. Even the flip there coming off the in the beginning is really interesting. There's so many different parts, and of course she's right here she gets called back to the come back into
Crawford's
office.
Yeah.
That's right.
Love that scene.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. And we noticed at this point that, she's FBI and there's so much. But right here's the interesting thing, too. We've got hurt, agony, pain, love it.
Love it.
All
Pride
those.
down
And then
to the
pride's
bottom.
all dirty
Yeah,
and covered
pride
up.
is
Yeah.
dirty.
Yeah. So, and that's something I missed so many times. The times I watched it before, I never really noticed that. And I think, as you develop your skills in the film world and being around it, you start to see more and more interesting cuts and edits and things that make filmmaking it's a motivational type thing to us all, and it brings different opinions to everybody.
I didn't notice the Pride one until just now.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever seen that.
Yeah.
I
same here.
noticed them all except for that one, and it's filthy.
A lot of it, look at even the stairs there are filthy. It's a lot of scenes are very barren and stark, and you've got
Gritty.
and this
Oh, she was about to get on the elevator.
the
with
font
all
they're
of
using
it.
is killing me because it's so like early
So
90s. It's like, what is up with that font?
It was awesome at the time.
At the time, Comic Sans wasn't available. This scene she has with
this is
Ooh, there's
great.
a group of people in an elevator.
Yeah.
Notice they're
noticed
all wearing the same
all wearing
red.
and they're all way bigger than she is getting
Yeah.
on the elevator.
Working at the behavioral science building has to be a fun place because everybody there is trying to figure themselves out. So
Aren't we all?
yes.
It's a real party spot.
The interesting thing about this story, the tagline to it was, "To enter the mind of a killer, she must challenge the mind of a madman." Let's talk about this. Is one of the first movies. Now serial killers have become one of the best storytelling things there is out there. I mean, how much more fun can you have is put a character, make him a serial killer.
They're my favorites.
And
They're my favorites.
And we're going to discuss that later.
yeah.
For another podcast.
It's funny. I remember seeing, I guess it was in the 80s, Manhunter.
Yeah.
Was that Michael Mann or
Michael Mann and Brian Cox?
And that was based on what? Red Dragon.
Yep.
And it's that whole thing where profiling, getting into the mind of it. And William L. Peterson was your main character, and Brian Cox was Hannibal.
Yeah.
But now, once again, now that we've seen this, who can picture anyone being Hannibal besides, Sir?
I do love me some Brian Cox, though.
I love him too. Super Troopers was brilliant.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's the only thing I can think of offhand. But Manhunter flopped horribly. I liked it when I saw it, but it just flopped. And
People
I
weren't ready
think,
for that, maybe.
I think Michael Mann or whoever, or Coppola maybe had the rights to this and let him go because of the flop of Manhunter. And then obviously, the rights were bought by Gene Hackman on this.
Oh, I did not know that.
Gene Hackman, because
thank
I
you.
think after Jodie Foster had read the book, she wanted to option the rights on it, and Gene Hackman had already bought them because originally in his mind he was going to play either Lecter or Crawford, I think could have been.
Oh, he would have
And
made a
then,
great Crawford. I mean, I think
he would have been.
made a Lex
He would have been
Luthery kind of.
He would have been an
Lecter.
odd Lecter. And then he went back and watched one of his other movies that I can't remember. Mississippi Burning, was he a bad guy in that?
Yeah.
Or rough guy in that.
Yeah.
He went back and he had seen his performance in that, and he didn't want to play any more like rough,
Bad,
evil.
bad guys. Yeah.
Although he did Quick and the Dead later, but that's another story. I guess we'll discuss that with Gene Hackman.
Yeah. Well, one of the things about the cinematography in this is that, Jonathan Demme, the way they a lot of headshots, if
They're
you notice.
so close up.
They're so close
Tons.
up, real shallow depth of field. I think that adds to the characters because in this version, I mean, everybody, you become convicted to who they are, and to their character, and you become polished into their story and what that, each one's got their own opinion, of what they're coming with, and the love interest and all this stuff that's that is put here between the two characters here. Jodie Foster's character and Scott Glenn, they come together, but we don't have that real romance that was in the actually
but he
book.
wants her.
Right.
Really?
So bad.
Yeah. In the book, that was much
Really?
more.
Oh,
of
is
a-
that in the book?
much more of a.
I don't read because they make movies out of stuff.
Yeah.
And
So why read?
Guilty,
no need to
guilty.
do that.
I
No,
really
no
thought he
reading.
was just kind of feeding her to Hannibal just to see if he could get something because she's a attractive young
That
woman.
would've
I
been
did
fun
not
too,
get
though.
any of that.
Well, that's why we did this
I
podcast.
miss
You know,
all
you don't
that
have to.
random
You don't have
stuff.
to. Read the cliff notes anymore. You can go straight past and just listen to this, and then go right in and get an A in your,
Your film
film
class.
Silence of the Lamb
class.
class,
Yeah.
serial
Yeah.
killers in media class.
Yeah.
You would
Teaching
like
that
that, wouldn't
next
you?
semester.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you are.
well, and two, you got to think too when Hannibal escapes at the end. He has all the right in the world to go after her, but he doesn't. He lets her go
He loves
because it was going to
her.
be insulting.
But it's also, isn't it
rude.
kind of disturbing to you that at the end you're kind of like, good for Hannibal getting away and
I
Having an
love-
old
and eating
friend.
people's faces.
well, you know, you got to take the good with the bad, I guess. Like this
It's
guy,
tropical.
This
It's
guy,
nice.
It is nice.
the guy who runs
really
the
nice. And
the
Anthony Held.
suit
Suit
is
is
amazing.
Held,
The
Held or
is he the warden of this?
He definitely was Dr.
that guy.
Frederick Clinton.
Chilton.
Chilton.
They just
Yes.
showed his.
They
you just
literally,
they showed his name
yeah,
tag.
they
Yes.
just showed it.
He is. He's pretty much a jackass in anything he's in.
He's so great at being a jackass.
Yeah.
though.
He must
Yeah.
get bummed.
Total
He must
douche.
be like, I would like to be Lecter,
Yes.
but I'll be the jackass because
Yeah.
it pays.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's so good in this. I don't know if he was in Red Dragon also, or what's the one after this?
Hannibal.
Hannibal.
yeah.
Hannibal takes place after this, and then Red Dragon before.
That's a good
Hannibal,
question.
Red Dragon is
Hannibal was
Manhunter.
after, but I'm not sure which one came. We'll have to all look at that
I
up.
think Red Dragon's a prequel.
Yeah. Could be.
Because that's the Manhunter one, and that was
Exactly,
that would have been
exactly.
the first one. Yeah.
So this
Did they
scene,
go-
man.
Oh.
Good Lord.
Yeah, you probably like this.
I love this scene. This whole scene right here. It's
You know what I'm talking about that you like.
Dude.
Oh, you love it.
I've got a whole
The
line.
masturbator.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. I got a whole line about this. Okay, Jodie, we're gonna throw spooge at you.
Yeah.
Fake spooge, right? Right? Right.
This,
Yeah, yeah. Sure.
Even
It's
but-
not human.
It's fake.
It's not human.
Yeah. It's
I think it's really interesting. Right before this, though, that scene happens is that she stops in the doorway, with the doctor, and this red light is a real interesting, like, sort of setting the tone for what's going to happen. Like, all right, instantly, red light, we're danger zone here is getting ready to happen. You're walking into it. It sets this, although it does on our TV kind of look a little pink, from time to time in it. I
Pink is pretty menacing too, though.
yeah,
I
but
gotta say.
I think especially with the
Valentine's
doctor
Day?
and the full pink.
Ooh,
Yeah,
good
that's
call.
true. That's true.
good call.
But see, they softened it a little bit, like, and it's harsher on him.
And then Frankie Faison's in the background. Nothing.
He's so
nothing going on him.
He's
He
so
is.
nice.
He was in one of the other ones too, I believe.
He was in the second one, Hannibal. I think.
Hannibal. Hannibal. Look at once again, everything around here seems to be degraded, stark.
Oh yeah.
I mean, granted, it is a prison.
They're
I guess it
underground.
shouldn't
Yeah.
be that. Shouldn't be that exciting.
Yes.
You
Just stacking the guns on the wall.
Scary.
like you do. on
There
the
were
pegboard,
15 guns on the wall.
Yeah,
Just in case one of the guys gets out.
Well, if one of them could throw spooge across that from that, obviously this guy's like a bullseye. He's a
Yeah.
friggin' master with stuff. You don't want him. You want
Miggs-
guns.
Miggs has a
You're
good
gonna-
arm.
Spooge gun.
Oh, he actually
He hits
hit
you
like
in the eye?
precise moment too.
Oh,
Like
my eye.
yeah,
Cue spooge.
he's like the something before
my
Mary.
Go for spooge.
Gophers. Back to one spooge. I snorted.
More wine.
Maybe too much already. I know now we're not even going to talk during this because we're going to be like,
It's so
show the
mesmerizing. This scene.
spooge.
Spooge.
I mean, it's
We're
so
all, like,
gripping when you watch this, and then
waiting
she
for
finally gets to
spooge.
Hannibal's cell, and he's
So do
just
we
so
know
casual.
whose spooge it is?
Miggs. Miggs has
Miggs?
the
Which one's
spooge.
Miggs though?
He's the one that's right next door.
This guy.
That guy right
the
there.
primal guy
Yeah.
Spooge master.
jumping around.
Spooge master.
It's always those little guys that have the
Spooge master
most
Miggs.
accurate spooge.
I think this scene is so interesting that just the way he's standing.
His
when
jumpsuit is really tight.
it's
Yeah,
No
he's-
comfort in
Is
this
it a little
cell.
tight?
He's got a little.
No comfort.
Was that camel toe, moose knuckle going on? And the fact that
Polyester.
they went with a glass
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is amazing because bars is what you would normally see. You'd be like bars, and he's looking at the camera as it comes. Like, this dude's smart, and he sees the camera and he's looking right at it, and it's glass, so it's going to be more intimate than talking through bars.
Yeah, Patrick, it is Anthony Hopkins. You know, he's
Powerhouse.
He's a
powerhouse.
professional.
Like, he has
Yeah.
worked this skill.
He's
But I think it's so
He's got
interesting
skills.
that they used
Just
what
I
you're
mean,
talking
that.
about with the glass. It really adds to the whole effect of like being able to smell her scent through the cracks in the glass, and I think it's interesting that he asked, to see her ID also.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
that's an interesting. The screenplay is amazing, and I think it did win an Oscar, if I'm not mistaken.
I want to say
It won like 5
Yeah.
that year.
Best
It did
actor,
win.
best
Yeah,
actress.
Best director, best picture.
best
Hang
actor.
on. It's right here on my VHS
Here we go.
copy.
Yes, pull out the VHS, please.
I'm sorry. I don't have
That came out before the
information.
Oscars happened.
All I have is best
Actually,
picture.
I have it. It's
good.
I think he won
Jonathan
Best Actor.
Demme won Best
Thank you,
Director, and Ted Talley won for Best Screenplay. And they also, the DP won for cinematography there, Tak Fujimoto.
Solid
and
pronunciation.
editing, which
I
I
know
think
that.
Good friend
definitely deserved for
Love
that.
his work.
I still watch
Oh,
this,
yeah.
the editing parts of this movie are amazing. Craig McKay, and then music was Howard Shore. They all won Oscars that year. So in 1991.
Yep.
91.
And how much screen time did Anthony Hopkins have? It was like 25 minutes, just short of 25 minutes in the whole movie.
I would say, yeah. And most of it's close-ups of his face.
Yes, which
Yes.
is delightful. Well,
Yeah.
when he's
Subtle
wearing
movements,
something,
too.
a skin-tight
I mean-
suit like that, I'd rather it be of his face.
Yes,
than,
definitely.
I want to see no
Nice
camel
coveralls.
toe thing flopping out.
Well, his eyes too during that process is it's so intense. When you watch it, you just get drawn into him, and and I think that's part of the using longer lenses here in this situation where they're shooting through, and that focus is real shallow. As a matter of fact, if you watch it really close, there's times when it's focused a little bit on his nose in some parts because of the shallow depth of field that they do, but the take is so good. I guess Jonathan Demme is like, I'm going with it, man. Like, I can't pass this up. This is like a total orgasm right here, watching it. So.
Spooge.
Spooge, definitely.
But yeah, he's
Amazing.
just so
He
still.
scares me. He used to scare me. Did you ever see the movie Magic?
Oh, yes.
Oh, with the ventriloquist puppet.
Abracadabra, I sit on his knee. That movie scared the hell out of me. I just
Yeah,
watched that
yeah,
again
as
not
it
long
should.
ago.
Yeah.
I watched it not long ago, and I went, why was I afraid of this? I think I was afraid of the commercial more than the movie.
Puppets.
Puppets.
Puppets are
fucking
creepy.
Puppets.
Yeah. Especially those puppets.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want none of that.
Yeah, he and him with his hand up it.
Yeah.
The puppet, that is.
Yep. Right.
Yes.
Yes. Puppet.
They're look at their focus of their eye. Well, it's so like he's on the camera pretty much a lot of the time. It is. It's a movie about close-ups,
It is. It's
Yeah.
and
profiling people,
and this was one of the first movies that actually talked about profiling, and now there's so many movies out there.
what is that series about it?
Mindhunter.
Mindhunter.
It is
Yeah.
awesome.
Great.
I loved
Yeah, I
it.
love
Yeah,
that.
it's amazing.
And this all reminded
Hate it.
me, definitely.
It's too
Total
procedural
trash.
for me. No, there's no zombies in it. I don't watch it.
It was pretty procedural. But I liked that.
I love the characters in it. I think it's just fascinating.
Well, and that's all based on true stuff, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Mindhunter.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
my mother was in a nursing home, and one of the other people in the nursing home, his wife and he were both in the FBI, and she knew whoever the guy was on Mindhunter starting all this profiling stuff. So I'm sure there's people in this movie that they knew that started this whole
Very
criminal
interesting.
getting into the
For
minds of the
sure.
criminals. And stuff. I really want to fix his eyebrows.
Just like comb that one
Yeah, there's-
crazy one down.
And I can relate. I have those eyebrows too. Like,
Yeah.
I got those coming up.
You gotta look
Yeah,
good.
all right. No, look. No, don't look at me.
Okay.
toss, huh?
my eye.
What a fucking toss.
Jesus.
Oh, he's
so-
pumped. He's so
excited.
pumped. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like going to the zoo with this guy.
Dude.
You
it's
throw him
like,
a little food, he jizzes on you, you're
It's
out.
like
Boom.
he won the World Prison Series
Of jizz.
of jizz just now.
That was a lot of jizz. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a lot of comparison to do, but I think that was a lot
Great
of jizz
timing.
for Migs to shoot.
Solid toss.
Because you got to
I mean-
remember, that's just what he had available. There's got to be more.
There's got to be
involved.
some left on his hand.
'cause
You
know
can't
he
just
did
get rid
that,
of
like
all of
3 or
it.
4 times already today.
Yeah.
You know?
At least. Well, what would you do if you were in there all the time? I mean, you think about this. I thought, watching this film and
Look at the
thinking about it,
hands.
like if you were in there and you were locked in this cell and there's nothing else to do, what else would you do?
You work out and masturbate.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Isn't masturbating kind of a workout
Yeah,
as it is?
yeah.
Especially
I mean,
Migs.
so, like,
Did you
some
see
days
that
you
load he
combine the
just
two.
tossed?
And it's ironic that not a single one of the inmates were in shape. So they're doing a lot of masturbating.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we know what their workout is.
Yeah.
Working it out.
Yeah.
Jodie Foster.
You got to work
Working it out when Jodie walks by.
Oh, there's one of those guys with a red shirt.
So how many movies now do we have serial killers based on Ed Gein who really didn't kill that many people?
How many did he kill? Do you know?
I think there was
his
two.
mom.
Two confirmed, 2 probables,
Yeah.
and the rest he just dug up dead people to get
Weird.
his stuff.
He liked
to
to
make stuff.
make belts out of
Lampshades.
Well, I mean,
nipple
you know,
Get a
he's
nipple belt. I had no
he's
idea.
resourceful. He
And I-
was definitely resourceful.
And I think he was making suspenders was one of the
he was
things.
he made everything. I think
Yeah,
he had
but-
lampshades.
Lampshades.
Lampshades
If you
is
actually
one I
watch
Texas
Chainsaw Massacre,
Chainsaw. Yeah.
thank you, Bo.
The noise really
yeah,
helped
Bo,
me.
by the way, Bo.
Giant vibrator movie.
Bo, hi.
He in that there's scenes where there's a lot of stuff made out of skin and stuff. Also, they pull
Chairs.
from
I think
Ed
he made a
Gein.
chair.
I don't know who else.
Kind of deal.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know who else
it's leather. It's leather.
Hannibal was.
The best.
Did Ed Gein eat people
I think he might have.
when he was
I'm
hungry?
not. That's not a fact. I don't know that for sure.
I don't know that either. So Hannibal's got to be based on more than just Ed Gein.
Jeffrey Dahmer, probably.
Maybe a little Ed Kemper in there.
Oh, I don't even know him. I'm slack.
Oh,
Dahmer
Ed
was a
Kemper's the
cannibal,
one
right?
on.
Dahmer was a cannibal, but he's a gay cannibal, so I don't know if that was going to work for this as
Works
much
for
as,
all occasions.
Or Bundy. Is he got a little Bundy in him?
Bundy.
You
Little
know,
Bundy, little Bundy.
Little
Bundy.
Bundy.
Al Bundy? No.
Well, I think if
Yeah,
you
it was Al Bundy.
Al Bundy.
Yeah.
Peg.
Hand in the pants.
I do
That's
believe
all I see. That's all
Just
I see.
Migs.
is that
I
there's
do
one-
believe
Just
if he
make-
would have stayed out and would have been, not caught, there might have been a little Bundy in him,
But the whole cannibal. This movie was for years was the scariest movie to me.
Yeah.
And I
'Cause
was
it could
raised
happen.
because I believe that there could be these people out there. And I don't think they'd be geniuses, though, like Hannibal Lecter.
No.
No, they'd probably be
Also, like-
sitting around the table and doing a podcast or something like that.
Totally.
Those
Totally.
kind of people. Would be
By the way, what are
ones
you guys doing after this?
that- Yeah.
You hungry? So some hitchhikers down. Anyway,
Yeah, we did invite you for a glass of wine and a little dinner.
Chianti,
And we are having those lovely dips over there.
Hey,
You know,
dips.
the Laura
Fava
Fava
bean
bean
dip.
hummus dip. Hummus dip.
Goes. I would like more wine.
Masking tape label.
Sir. Garçon.
with the
Always-
masking tape label.
Always adds
and
to
a
the
little
experience.
flatbread. I don't know what that word is. I can't see.
Simply salted,
Crisps.
crispy
Crisps.
flatbread.
It's what the English call potato
Chips?
chips.
Gotcha.
Crisps.
Storage scene.
Self-storage.
Self-storage.
Really love this scene. I mean, the fact that she kind of gets, trapped under the door trying to get in there, and she has to, go get the crowbar and
Carjack
jack.
it up.
Yeah.
Jack it up.
And then, of course, she gets here, and then she realizes there's the scene that happens is where she cuts her leg, which is, I wonder if that came later. When they were writing the screenplay, they were like, you know what, we need a way to tie back in later. Because this is a scene where later, Hannibal's like,
You stop bleeding.
you stop bleeding, and it sets a tone. So I almost think that was, put in there afterwards. And when you're, in that writing process, you're breaking the story down and you're coming back and adding moments. I wonder if that's not the case, with them going back and saying, hey, let's just add a little more
So
flair
is
to
that
it.
not in the book? Is that
You know what? That part I cannot remember about the book. It's been so long since I've read that. So,
But this definitely gave me fears of self-storage things, because I'm like, well, man, I don't know what's in any of these things.
You have storage phobias?
Storage
little
phobias,
bit.
Mannequin phobias. There's a bunch of mannequins
Yeah, I'm not
in this storage
never been
shed.
a fan of mannequins,
No.
to be honest with you.
The movie did it to
Is
me.
anyone a fan? Well, the
Yeah,
movie
creepy people.
mannequin.
It's creepy.
I don't know. I
It's
like
so
it.
weird.
kinda
Mannequin
like
too, maybe.
Mannequin.
Switcher.
People love it.
That was so
People love
good.
it. I was
what,
such a
what
child.
a romance.
Andrew McCarthy.
Yeah.
It was such a
You
romance.
love
mean,
Andrew
it's-
McCarthy.
So is this a
Great.
hearse?
If you want to have nightmares.
Is this an actual hearse, or is it made to look like a hearse with the little curtained windows?
I think it's a hearse because I think she saw it from the
Looks
outside.
like a limo or something.
Damn
A
fancy.
limo
Mannequins.
with curtains.
Yeah.
Silky gray, dark curtains.
Yeah.
Because
Dude,
that's what I have
the hell
in
kind of
mind.
proms you been
Right.
going to? What
The
limos you been in?
best. The best.
Private prom for Bo.
And doesn't she find something in here that really traumatized me?
Yes.
Yes.
Like a little jar of something,
A jar of something.
little jar of
Yes,
something,
just a little something, something.
little something, little,
Yeah,
little appetizer.
for sure.
Yeah, I was pretty traumatized through a lot of this movie. I wasn't that young when I saw. I was maybe 20,
Here we go.
25.
Here we
And the big reveal, a head in a jar.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, hi. How you doing?
with bad makeup
yeah.
Very bad.
and facial
Just-
hair.
Oh.
Two things that don't go great together. Ooh, they actually showed a license plate. There's another one.
Two,
Um,
West Virginia. Hey.
And it's raining here. It's always stark weather around here.
Yeah, it makes for
So
a
that
good
was-
story.
So that was Hannibal's, right? That was his storage locker that we
was-
just looked
that-
at. Or
That was
storage
his storage
facility?
locker, but
Right.
he claims he did not put that head in the jar.
Do we know where the head came from?
I believe
ever
the
find that
head
out?
is one of Buffalo Bill's
Right.
victims,
Gotcha.
because
Right.
it's got the
It's got the
death's-
makeup on, which would
and
make
the death's
sense
head
for
moth in
his
the throat.
right.
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because he's got his own little issues.
yeah, he
Yeah.
likes,
I don't know. Buffalo Bill doesn't necessarily like to eat people, does he? He's
No,
just
no,
like
he
to
likes
wear
to-
them.
and he likes to put insects in their throat.
Yeah, so you know,
That
calling
was kind of
card.
his calling card. That's
Yeah.
right. And
He's trying to make a woman's suit out of women.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's kind of weird because it's not woman shaped; it's more like a dress shape. He's trying to make a woman dress.
Skin
Which
dress.
is-
You know,
Yeah.
these damn people
Yeah.
trying to make clothing out of skin.
Yeah.
They
You
don't
know
know
what?
what they're
Yeah.
doing. They
Well, I
got
tell you,
no
it's a step
class.
above the duct tape option. You see a lot of that shit.
That's
And
true.
it's like, wow, I'm glad this girl built her dress to go to the prom out of fucking duct tape. It's great.
And it gets-
I mean, they've got like 50 colors at Walmart now, you know, camo, whatever you need.
Yeah,
Glow in the dark.
Plaid,
Great.
paisley, all prints, all colors.
Now, if only
Nice.
he had stuck to just like duct tape, so many lives would have been spared.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now, is Clarice the only one who calls him Hannibal the cannibal in this?
I only heard it one time.
One time.
I heard it one
Just
time,
one
and then she
time.
goes back to Dr. Lecter.
Right.
Dr. Lecter. Dr. Lecter.
Dr. Lecter.
Dr. Lecter. Buffalo Bill, I guess you just call him a crazy motherfucker.
You call him Billy? Hi, Billy.
And so, how do they know each other?
How does Jamie? Is that his name? Jamie?
Jamie Gum?
Jamie Gum.
Yep.
Jamie Gum.
Wasn't he a patient?
One of the patients of.
Hannibal.
Lecter,
That's
which
right.
is why
That's
he
right.
knows so much.
That's
He's,
why they got along so well.
I don't know. It seems like Lecter doesn't really like.
Maybe they were in competition.
He didn't eat his victims, so it was wasting. Just wearing them. Who are you wearing tonight?
That sound of that. Just, all you have to hear somebody do that. Yeah.
Well, and it's hard to disregard Dumb and Dumber when I hear that too.
I've never actually seen that movie.
You've never seen Dumb and
Come
Dumber?
on.
Oh,
No.
It's time.
it's a classic.
It's time.
You got to watch it.
At one
You
time,
gotta
and
watch it.
One of our podcasts will be Dumb and Dumber.
Oh.
The
One on
movie.
my list.
Oh,
The
man.
original.
We should put that
All
on
the
the
others
list
are
of
just-
one of the down the road.
Fuck it. Turn off this movie. Let's see.
Let's just go right to
This
it.
movie scares me. I'm sure Dumb and Dumber isn't as scary.
Some parts are scary. Yeah.
Actually, this would be a great one to follow this because it would be completely opposite, like the two polar extremes here.
Serial killers and what are the Dumb and Dumber people?
Yeah, dumb,
Just dumb.
just dumb.
Real dumb.
I'm a big fan of Jeff Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
He's good in
I've been watching The Newsroom. I've been rewatching The Newsroom. He's
Between
so-
that and Speed, I'm like, I don't know which movies I like.
Or
more.
did you see The Two Towers?
Yeah.
The Looming Towers.
Looming Tower.
Looming Tower. It was a Hulu thing about 9/11, pre 9/11.
I have not.
So he's amazing. He's amazing in it. Has nothing to do with this movie.
No.
I'm sure these people are all doing amazing things now too. Like Anthony Hopkins is Odin,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't know what Jodie Foster's doing. Nell too.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
The day she came back.
Nelly.
Nelly. Nelly, what? I don't know what she's probably directing more
I think so.
Mel Gibson
Yeah.
movies.
I think that's
And chilling. She's doing a lot of
What's
chilling.
Anthony Heald doing?
that
What's
one.
Chilton doing?
Question.
Chilton.
Chilton.
And Scott Glenn's
Being a
just
jerk.
Scott Glenn did Daredevil, so
Oh, wow. That was.
he didn't play Daredevil. He played
No.
Stick.
Yeah.
That would be really messed up. Yeah, this jumpsuit is quite a choice on Hannibal.
I'm getting one of
very
those
tight.
for
Buttons
Christmas
are
for you.
pulling.
The buttons are
Patrick.
pulling.
Buttons are pulling.
Yeah,
It's
Patrick.
too
What
small.
size? We just want to make sure we match it up. And whatever size, I'm going to buy a size smaller
One size
just to
smaller,
make
for
it work.
sure.
So,
Yeah.
Just to show off his feminine wiles.
Do you think he requested a size smaller?
I like how it holds my testicles. And still afraid of him.
Yeah, terrifying.
This is no longer the scariest movie I've ever seen because then movies came out that were just batshit crazy. Like, what is that, Rob Zombie? House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh, yeah, that
Because
was-
those are the types of movies I grew up on, and seeing that scared me. She is a bit chunky.
oh, yeah.
She
Yeah.
gained
Hey
weight
now.
for this.
Hey now.
apparently.
There's nothing wrong with a little cushion.
Well, and
For the
most
pushing?
American, the
If
most
that's what you
American
want to do
girl
with it.
Yeah.
singing
Yes,
Tom
yes.
Petty classic.
Well, Tom Petty.
Right.
She's an
right.
American girl.
No, actually, I read that she had gained weight for the role.
She's real cute, though.
She looks good in the bottom of a well.
And
I
you know
agree.
what? She falls
Just
in love with
stunning
Precious.
down there.
I think that
She
scene
falls in
is
love
so
with-
amazing.
Like when she's at the end, when she's got Precious, and she's like, no. The guy tries to take him.
yeah.
Well, and if you
Yeah.
notice too, at the very, very end, where she's being escorted out of the house, she's still holding the dog.
That's what
Which-
I mean.
that's what you were talking- okay.
Yeah, like the ambulance guy's like, oh, here, let me take that dog. And she's like, no.
This is
Not
my
your dog.
I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Your dog,
So
my
this
friend.
scene too, where she's coming home, she's talking to the cat, casual,
she thinks
normal,
everything is okay.
everyday
Hey,
procedure
kitty,
here.
Well, that's what makes it scary to us
Yeah.
normal
Terrifying.
people going like, oh, I'm going to leave Kent's studio.
Oh,
but are
and
you
then
gonna
you look
help
up
this
and down
guy?
the road and
Are
go,
you- are you-
oh.
yeah,
Are you
gonna
gonna
help
help
this guy?
this vet?
Well,
he's
he's-
wearing the veteran.
He's got a cast
cap.
on.
The
He has a
cast
cast.
is directly taken from, I think that's a Bundy thing.
I
Oh
was
yeah, that's
lure
definitely a
people
Bundy
in.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was
and then I'm gonna
totally-
hit you over the head with it.
I would totally believe this guy, until his voice, and then I would be like, "No, I'm not getting in the back of the van for you." Yeah.
That's weird.
I was in a faith-based movie with Ted Levine.
I love me.
I didn't get to
some
do
Bundy.
any scenes with him, but when I saw the movie, I was like, all I could think of is him tucking his willy between his legs and
I
doing a little
watched-
dance. The guy's like in his 60s
I
or
watched
something
six,
down. I'm like,
six
I don't want that in
seasons
my
of
head.
Monk before I knew that was the same guy,
Oh, really?
and I was like, "Shut the fuck up!
Yeah. I never watched Monk.
Would you fuck
I
me?"
probably, would you fuck me?
Oh my
Art
god,
for
with that voice.
And
Oh.
apparently,
And
the
I
little,
love the close-ups that they did with that too. It was like just of his lips, just to
And the
brought
song,
you. And then the way they intercut it back and forth is flawless. And I mean, honestly, the editing in this movie is just to die
it's
for because that's what makes it.
amazing.
It's the way that cutting it back and forth makes this story. When you watch it now, I mean, it's been out how many years now? It's still just as good. If it was, the sound is great, the editing's still good.
55% cotton on that.
There's
jacket.
maybe a hairstyle here and there that I'm like, hey, it's a little.
Right, it's a little.
dated.
the
And maybe the
90s,
font.
Patrick.
Maybe the font at the beginning. Was
That
a
damn
little-
font, man.
Yeah.
The font.
It's really
fuck that
really
font.
tearing you
Fuck
guys
that
up
font.
tonight.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Agreed.
FTF. Fuck
Yeah,
that
fuck
font.
That font.
Um,
Can we
have
get a
just created
re-release,
new
please?
hashtag.
Change the damn font,
Hashtag
please.
Fuck that font.
Fuck that font.
It's the
Yeah,
worst.
this was friggin' scary, and it holds up.
It's gripping.
Oh, it totally
the whole
holds
film.
up. I wasn't sure.
This is the first time I think I've seen it. Is this a high def
Where you go with my
screen?
human?
I know, poor kitty.
It
cat.
is a high def screen.
So
We're
it
watching
does have
on-
a slight video look to
Yes,
it
it
because
does.
of that.
This looks
But it
way
still
better
holds
than
up.
the one I watched though because I had tracking issues with
Oh.
my videotape.
Did you try a head cleaner for your VCR? Did you
is that
blow
some
on
sort
it?
of innuendo?
Yeah.
It is. It's when you stick someone's head in the VCR and it makes everything better.
I did try that.
And you blow on them.
And you blow and go, would you fuck me?
Hard fuck me.
So I heard that, his dance sequence that will forever give me.
Oh, yeah.
That it was in the book, apparently, is what I read, but it wasn't in the screenplay, and he fought to get it into the screenplay because
That's
who doesn't want to
interesting.
tuck their dick between their legs and do a little dance?
And that's honestly, that's like his.
Well,
That's the most significant scene he
I'll
has.
pass on that one.
In my opinion.
He was known for that for a long time. Like before,
yet.
I'm sure there's a little gap before
He's
Monk
past the
happened where
others.
he's like,
The last
"Everyone wants
cell.
me to fucking
I'll be
stick
watching.
my dick between my
You'll
legs."
be fine.
There's got to be a market for
So
that.
we're gonna need.
It doesn't pay as much, and it's not union. So
But I have a passion for it.
So can you run that line over again? Yeah, this time tuck your dick. I think that's really gonna set the tone here. We're gonna need that.
That's gonna make the scene.
Just
trust
totally
me.
lose the dick, please.
Trust me.
So,
So after
Bo,
this
I mean,
movie
how do
came
you
out,
go
I know.
in and say this? I just, we've got a couple of actors around here, and then, so, how do you go in and say, I really would like to tuck my dick, and I think that's going to make the scene.
Do you
I
bring
don't
the
think you-
director off to the side
You just show
and say,
You just
I want to
show
tuck my
him.
dick.
There's-
I want to
Jonathan,
do this.
Jonathan.
Well, I have
Hear
seen
me
some
out.
things go in some
Just hear me out.
situations, like that.
I don't think
need
you
to tuck
lead
my
with that.
dick in.
I don't think
I
you
need to.
lead the discussion with, Jonathan, I need to tuck my dick between my legs. I think you go like, why isn't the dance scene in and can I tuck my dick between my legs?
Or maybe it started
Lead
out
with-
as a
lead
dance
with the
scene, and then it
dance.
went a
Lead
little
with the
farther,
dance.
and then Jonathan
Then
Then it
sneak
would
the
sound
dick
like
tuck.
you read the book. All right, you've researched it, and then sneak the dick tuck.
Sneak it.
Wasn't that a TV show, Dick
I
Tuck?
don't know. I was about to say on an all new dick tuck.
If it's
This
not,
week on
it
Dick
will
Tuck.
be now.
I had a roommate do that once. I walked through the room, and he was doing the dance. Thank you, Silence of the Lambs,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
scarring me
Yeah.
not once but
And-
twice.
And millions of
And
other
your roommate
roommates.
apparently
Millions
scarred him to the
of
point.
other roommates. Yes.
I
could
don't know
just
what that
see your
woman was doing in the
expression
closet.
on your face when you walked in and saw that
Yeah.
situation.
It's very bizarre to see.
Stephen Ingram, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, all right?
Ooh, she named names.
Let's bleep that out.
Here's Ted Levine.
It's too late now.
Precious.
So she's in the well.
She's in the well.
She's in the well with the lotion.
You spook easily, Starling.
Not yet, sir.
He's past the others. The last cell. I'll be watching. You'll do fine.
Another classic
It
scene.
puts the lotion on it. I wonder how many times in that
gets
faith-based film
the
somebody walked up and went, "Man, I love you." When you said it puts lotion on its skin. See, I made it southern. Somebody's a southern person who's a fan. I don't know why.
Do you think he got like gift baskets of,
Of
lotion
lotions.
forever and always?
Well, where it
Or
is,
maybe
his
that's what he
Oscar-
gave as gifts to all the people that he worked with.
God, I
you
Oh,
hope
know?
that's
so.
fucked up. Do you know the guy who wrote the book?
Thomas Harris.
Thomas Harris, who's a very shy guy apparently, for the Oscars got everyone a case of wine
Oh.
that was
I thought
involved
you were
with
going
the
to
movie.
say a basket of lotion.
A basket of lotion.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
He had a picture of him with his dick tucked.
And he's not shy.
He's not. He's
Well, if he wasn't shy, maybe his dick would have been untucked.
when,
Bingo. Now we know why.
That's shy. Ladies and gentlemen, that's shy.
I think one of the other things I saw Ted Levine in after. Oh, he's losing his mind. Was The Hills Have Eyes remake, where he plays the kind of like gun-toting, probably right-wing dad of the group,
Is
and
he
you're like, all
real
right.
Stacy Keach looking at that point?
Kinda. He
Yeah.
kind of has that going on where you go like, oh yeah. It like, then you go, oh my God, I've seen your dick tucked. I saw you with makeup on and hand and lotion down to some chick in a well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he gets
The basket.
mercilessly slain in that movie. So
I'm going to have to see that. That's the remake?
it's the remake which traumatized me. Anytime there's violence against animals, I get traumatized.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could
Yeah.
watch serial killers gut people and wear their skin all day long. But if there's a
all
puppy
day.
in danger, I will be like,
Fuck that.
fuck this. What is going on? Somebody's got to step in
I
and do
stopped
something.
watching Drag Me to Hell when she killed the kitten.
What
was-
the fuck was up with that? I
Right.
love that
was-
movie
I
except
was
for
like,
that.
I was like, if she kills the kitten, I have to turn it off. She killed the kitten, I turned it off.
Yeah, it doesn't get much I mean, the stank gypsy woman is still going after her, and she's all dead and stuff.
Yeah.
So, are you guys going to be watching the new Pet Cemetery? You know, I mean,
Hells yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, wow, it's going to be.
I just
gonna be
watched the
wild.
original one the other day.
Oh,
Scary
it's still
as
good.
shit.
When I first saw it, I went, "This is so fucking stupid." And then I watched it this
dude.
time, and I went, "Man, Mr. Munster even scared me a little bit."
He's so
Yeah.
good.
He
in
was
that.
great.
He
in
was.
it.
He made
But
that.
you see, I don't like children, so it
Oh.
really didn't.
Murdery children are terrifying.
Murdering
Murdery
children?
Murdery children.
Murdery.
Murdery.
Oh
Murderish.
yeah.
Murderesque.
Are you
Yeah,
talking about like
children just
Chucky?
don't do it
That's
for me.
that.
Chucky's a
they're
doll.
coming out with that this year too.
But it's Brad Dourif's
Child's
voice.
Play,
They're
a
not
brand new
remaking it.
Child's
Oh,
Play.
yeah.
Is it a
It's a brand new one. It's a remake.
no?
Oh man,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
It
I'm
looks
pretty
wild.
faithful to the old Chucky's.
Yeah, it looks wild.
I never got into those.
I
The
wasn't either.
first one is so great.
Was it a Best Buddies or what are they called?
Good Guys.
Good Guys.
Good guys.
It's Brad Dourif, isn't it? Brad Dourif's
Yeah,
voice.
yeah.
There's so much fucked up about that movie
Yeah.
that it didn't scare me. Like Silence of the Lambs. Like if an animal got hurt in this movie, I'd be traumatized.
Well, and it's
Yeah.
the knife too
Well,
that
they're-
Chucky carries. It's got like the squiggly ketchup thing going on, and it's just not scary. Like that's not a scary knife. Let's find something that's a little more scary. For
Great.
this.
Now he's gonna have like a fucking samurai sword in the reboot because
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks,
Chainsaw.
Bo.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bo don't know Chucky.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
I don't know who that actress is, but she looks really familiar.
It
She has
is
fantastic
Diane
hair.
Baker.
She
And
has
who-
great hair.
Who
Look
did
at
not
that.
want to be tied up and have a mask like Hannibal
Oh,
in his straitjacket?
Well, they still sell those. You can still get
I'm
those
sure
at
they
the
do
Halloween
at
shop.
the web shop. Their website.
gonna get
you
one.
go to.
The Silence of the
Bo's
Lamb
been going
mask.com.
They're still very popular in
bondage
bondage,
sites
aren't
over
they?
there.
Bo knows bondage. Yeah, this
Actually got a
that whole scene
shop
where he
in my
escapes,
garage.
it really did. This movie fucked me up badly.
Yeah.
Like when the end happened, like that whole ending sequence, really, that wasn't a lot for me. It was all the stuff that happened before that. The night vision is a little bit.
the part where he's like reaching
Yes.
out and
Yeah.
almost touches her
Good.
hair.
Yeah.
And you're like, just stop.
Yeah,
What was
I think the when you see through his eyes, him reaching and he's so close is just
Like
interesting.
this scene with Hannibal always makes me laugh because he just looks like a frumpy old dude who's just like, "Hey, give me a beer.
Yeah,
Pass me a beer."
He looks
Ooh.
like a Dapper Dan man.
I think it was interesting the way they all the light is coming from directly above him, and it sort of shadows his face.
Yeah, it makes him look so
intense and scary. Yes.
Mhm.
I think it's also interesting because it's so hard to shoot through bars. The techniques that they do in this, where they were walking in between them, he's following her with her eyes. It really keeps you captivated because otherwise it could be a real. If you shot this without any movement to it,
Yeah.
it's a boring shot. But then you can tell that they also shot it, with the bars pulled out and straight, and him looking straight into the camera, and that just you keep slowly getting into the cell if you'll watch through the process, and the next thing you know, you're inside there with him, and you're kind of like very at edge on
Very
your
uncomfortable.
nervousness. Yeah.
And something, I
He
guess it's
doesn't-
the light with his eyes, how his eyes almost look like they're watery a little bit.
He's
And I
not
think it's-
blinking.
Oh, he's not
He's
blinking.
not
That's
blinking.
right.
Like he
Yeah.
is just staring.
That is
so
right.
intently.
Yeah. And you got a little catch light down on below that's popping up into his
Yeah.
eyes that make that,
Plus, he's
It's
wearing like a
that,
white
flashlight
t-shirt.
under the
and we got,
chin
like,
Yeah,
effect.
feel.
Yeah.
Want to hear a scary story, Clarice?
So much power, though. I mean, the stillness he
I'm
brings.
glad
to
he
the
didn't do that
camera.
after the Miggs jizz. Stop it, Hannibal.
Different tastes.
That's gross.
When he's in, where's he at now? He's like
He's
in a
being
gymnasium
transported.
somewhere.
They've got to transport him to.
He's at like the senator's place.
Weren't they
right?
going to give him a place with a view?
Yeah, that was the deal.
That was the
but
deal.
then he found out that she
wasn't
lied
gonna-
about
Oh.
the deal.
Okay,
Yeah.
he wasn't going to get a
So I
view.
think this is after he finds out that she lied about the
Well, yeah, he does get very grumpy and do a lot of shit.
deal. Yeah, he's pissed off.
He does some shit that I never would have thought of.
Charles Napier really suffers because he's all pissed off.
Who's Charles Napier?
He's one of the guards in this scene.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's
He's
so
the one
good
that
too.
gets the
He gets
Butterfly.
He gets butterfly to the
yes, he
butterfly
does.
to the
Poor old Charles Napier.
pulled up
but
to
I
the ceiling.
love him.
What would I know him from, Charles Napier?
He's a voice actor. He does a lot
I feel
of.
like he always plays cops too.
He does always play cops, and I feel like he was the sheriff in the Squidbillies. Which is an Adult Swim thing, Patrick. Not that you know all those people, but now I feel like you do because
totally met the
you're on an
Squidbillies.
Adult
Same
Swim
channel.
show.
Same channel.
Same channel.
And then we all hung out with Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah, like we
That's
have
him right
dinner
Oh.
every week. Yeah, there he is.
Yes.
There he is.
Wasn't he also? No, he looks a little bit like the father of Kick-Ass.
A little bit.
Little bit. But I
So this
think,
is when
I think he's too old to be the same guy.
this is when the attack happens. So Hannibal's about to pick his cuffs off. And then he attacks.
This is some.
Okay, so I have a
So well
problem
played
with
all
this.
the way
Oh.
through this.
I got a problem with this scene though.
Look, got a problem.
So,
Look, got a problem.
all right. So he saves that pen that Chilton leaves in the paperwork all the way back at the other prison, right?
Right.
So he saved that pen the whole time. They give him so much shit in this cell that's in the middle of this room. He's got a tape recorder. He's got a screen. He's got a bunch of stuff he can take apart. But he saves the piece of the pen?
Oh,
I'm
this
just-
sequence with the Billy Club.
Oh, Charles Napier, no!
Love it.
Beat
Oh,
me
The
up.
look
Yeah.
on his
His
face
face.
as he does it.
Yeah.
And
Like,
of course, he's got
It's
friggin'
so much relief.
blood all around his mouth. He looks
You
like
can
a
see like he's
Joker.
just
And I love the shot of the lamb there. When
Oh,
they,
is that
when they
what
come
that
back
is?
and it's got
extra rare.
Yeah, extra
Yeah.
rare lamb.
the
Yeah.
potato's not even cooked,
What
apparently.
else we got on
Oh,
the floor?
you lost
A
your
little
lighter and your
knife,
pocket
lighter.
knife.
Yeah, he's got a
This
whole
is-
lot of stuff.
It's a cool scene. I love all the fake blood there. You can tell. Though.
Yeah.
But there's a cool scene that he is so calm and like yet he knows the guy's moving over there, and he sort of goes through his hands are swaying back and forth with the music, and then he realizes, oh, there's one that's trying to get away.
Oh, damn it.
But even after he realizes it, the composure that he's just so composed, that's the thing that makes him scary. It's not the fact that he kills somebody. It's the fact that he is so calm at killing somebody that he's literally
And he just
taking his
surveys the
time.
whole cell for what he could use, and he picks up the pocket
and he
knife.
picks up the pocket knife and he slowly walks to slaughter the
Well,
next.
Kent,
I think
he's
it's also
old,
really
too.
cool
He
too.
can't
Yeah,
move
he is
fast.
slow.
He
Yeah,
really can't
he
move
couldn't
that
move
fast.
faster. But I thought it was also great that they didn't show the him going to kill that part. That was
Right.
not
No, you just know.
you
just
know, and
what
that's
he's done.
so much more intense in a script is knowing.
I still believe that. I believe like Hitchcock was the same way.
Oh,
You don't
it's-
show the
Oh,
actual.
it's much worse.
Right.
It's
Because
much
what's in
worse.
your mind is always your
Oh, it's
imagination
yeah.
is much more hard. That's why when stuff
Definitely.
actually started showing up in the 80s and stuff where they show you everything,
You're like,
it
took
kind of-
away.
It's too much.
Yeah, I think we got a little bit used to it where it wasn't as frightening anymore.
I was a huge horror fan and still am. And during that time period, I really the whole slasher thing. I was so turned away from it that I walked away from watching horror films because I was like, this is ridiculous, because like what we said is there's more to not showing and the technical acts of presenting it. The scariness it's much more intense than the actual showing it to me,
Definitely.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. Although I will say, everyone in the theater jumping out, friggin' drowned kid jumped out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen a movie from 78 or whenever it was.
Oh, no, we'll edit that
Kevin
out.
Bacon.
Scared. I mean, people next to me jumped out of their seat. I was frozen with fear. And then you go back and you're like, it's a little bald kid, a little green makeup on who
But it
jumps out of the
was
water.
Awesome.
It was great. But the whole other stuff, like Kevin Bacon getting an arrow through the neck,
Oh, it
you're
was
just
so
like,
bad. It was
like,
like you go back and watch that
oh,
now, and the arrow and everything about that. It's like clearly not a person. We're clearly using mannequins again, tying
Yeah, but
mannequins
that-
back into the conversation.
Yeah.
Bo, you probably weren't born back when that movie came
Yeah,
out, but it
Bo
was a little bit scary.
Well,
Bo does
my
like
pappy told me
mannequins.
tales about this film.
Oh my God, the whole butterfly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, and also
insane.
tying back to the whole classical music thing that you were pointing out, and how he's just it's kind of part of the act for him, listening to that, killing at the same time, and then coming right
But
back.
I don't
to
think
that,
it's
like,
an-
dream come
subtle.
true.
Yeah, I don't think it's an
like-
act. I think he's that kind of. I think he's sophisticated. He obviously
Totally.
is
Yeah.
a sophisticated
Well, and
person,
I'll-
and that brings him joy. And eating people.
Yeah.
Well, besides the
so-
eating people thing, I'll take it a step further and say that Sir Anthony Hopkins himself is a very driven classical music.
He writes and composes.
He wrote a waltz 50 years ago, and they just performed it like last year.
And
That's
it was
right. I did hear
incredible. It was really, really good.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
that. I hope it's good. What
So
if
I
he worked
think-
all these years on a suck ass like thing?
Sorry,
50
Anthony,
this
we
is-
don't want it.
Yeah, I wrote
You
this
should
50 years
stick with
ago.
eating people, jackass.
Get out of here.
And the fact that he wrote it 50
50
years ago, what was he, like 12? I mean, how old's this guy?
He is 800 now.
800.
So
Exactly.
Methuselah.
Exactly. Today's his
21 in
800th birthday.
Dracula years.
he's actually I don't know how old he is. What is he in his 70s?
He's gotta be.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
I mean,
These people keep getting
Anthony
old.
Hopkins, we apologize.
We
we love
you.
you.
We
Yes.
don't
We love
know
you.
how old you are.
we fucking love
I wish I could think of a bad movie he was in and go,
fucking
I
love the
particularly
shit
loved
out
you
of you.
in. It's easier for Connery. I could think of bad movies Connery's been in.
Zardoz.
Oh, you take that back.
I'm sorry.
I have
It's
that
too
G-string at
rapey.
home. I have that
too-
suit he wears at
I hope so. I'm
Can't
I
tuck
expect,
my cock.
I expect a DM of that picture later.
Well, it'll be on the website.
Sweet.
So one thing I noticed too was that in both scenes where
81.
Hannibal's
Wow.
Hannibal's
Thank you,
in the
Carlo.
81. Wow.
81.
Looking
Damn.
good. Looking good.
He old.
How old is Shatner? Is he 81 also?
He's up there
400.
too. Shatner, the original Halloween mask.
Right?
face.
Is him.
Because
right.
no one is scarier than
Then William.
Shatner.
throw a little white.
It's his acting. It's
Little
his
white
acting
paint
that
on a
really just
Shatner
frightens
mask and you're
people.
set.
It's so terrifying.
He's got the same role in every movie. It's the same.
It's
role.
Bill Shatner.
Yes.
That's another reason why this movie scared the shit out of me.
Because
Is
it happens in West Virginia.
the killers don't wear masks.
Right.
You
That's
see,
right.
They look like
Yeah,
real
good point.
people.
even Ted Levine
Right?
mostly
Even
looks
the whole
real.
wiener
He
tub.
looks like a real person in West Virginia, which is
Bam.
where my relatives live. So I'm allowed to say that. In fact,
Sister Mama.
there's a Mom, don't listen to that.
That is
love
actually,
you.
isn't that a relative of yours?
That,
It's your neighbor.
Yes,
That's your
my
neighbor.
Won't you
Cindy?
be
Beulah.
my neighbor.
Cindy.
Beulah Cindy was her proper name.
Beulah Cindy Lou Who.
McThatcher Whack.
Yeah. lot of
This-
wood.
That looks like
Thank you.
a lot,
Lot of
a
wood.
lot of wood.
Thank
here.
you for noticing.
A lot of wood.
Watch where you put that thing.
I better tuck it.
I love his voice. I think that's like the new, phone message. Have you leave that message.
Oh, speaking
Yeah.
of his voice, Joyride. Have you seen Joyride?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
So if you watch one of the old
Creepy.
DVDs or whatever, there were 3 voices they were thinking of using. It's a crazed truck driver who,
Okay.
who's the dead guy? Paul Walker.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Paul
Yeah.
Walker.
Sorry,
Rest in peace, rest in peace.
But he pretends to be a girl because Steve Zahn is like, fuck with this guy on CB.
Oh.
And he pretends to be a girl, and this
Radio.
trucker's like, candy cane, let's meet, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, no.
And they keep fucking with him and stuff, and he ends up being psychotic. So
Son
there are
of a
2
bitch.
other voices, other actors they had that they also tried for it. And one of them was like, Candy Cane, how are you? It was like, one of them was like a total hee-haw voice, and then you hear Ted Levine, and you're like, oh my God, how could you have not said that's it
the one.
immediately?
Sign him.
Now, was that a
Frightening.
remake?
No, Joyride was you're thinking of Duel was the
Duel,
Spielberg
yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
which
Which
is a truck.
similar. That's
It's similar, but this is,
Is that
a
the
lot
one where the truck
more-
like comes out of the sand at one point in time, or is that just like a childhood mix-up
They're
memory
out
that
in
I
the desert.
had?
They're out
That's
in the
because you
desert for
watched
sure.
Duel and Dune one after the other, and
Yeah. And
should
like
watch
merged
them
them.
at the same
Mad
time.
Max. What am I thinking here?
It's a fun movie. You're
One of
in.
them.
I don't know.
I know. It's
Hey guys, I got this new idea. It's a truck that comes out of sand.
I'm writing it
Let's
down.
write it down.
Sci-Fi
I'm
Channel
writing
already
it
did
down.
it.
There's
Sci-Fi's
also
got
a worm. Sorry.
Yeah.
But do not tuck the worm; it's too big.
Tuck the worm.
Where were we with Ted Levine?
Well, we were watching the Silence of
holy
the
Silence-
Lambs.
Back to the Silence of the Lambs.
Oh no, he just got killed. Oh,
Yeah.
But even in,
Hardly.
even in his even in Buffalo Bill's death scene, death moment, he's still creepy as fuck when he dies.
Yeah, with his
Well,
arms
he's
up like
wearing
that.
night
vision
Up at
glasses.
his- up-
Yeah,
and,
he like
Oh,
T-Rexes,
yeah.
and I love how it goes from obvious total darkness
Would you
to
fuck me now?
Well, I love the fact that when you really look at it close, he's still breathing. Still,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They never show that he's not dead.
Right.
I like that they
Sequel.
didn't have him reach up and grab her like
every other movie.
Another reason why this movie's scarier because you'll believe it. Like if he all of a sudden went, "Brr,"
Right.
and dude's wearing these awkward night vision glasses and stuff. And like,
Props to Clarice, though. I mean, come on. She heard a noise. She shot once, maybe 4 times afterwards.
Yeah.
here's your dog.
Yeah.
Every time. Hit him.
Oh, yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time.
No, this
Precious.
is my fucking dog now.
Oh, then we have the trench coat mafia here. What do we got?
Yeah,
going on
Crawford,
here?
and
Crawford's a
we're gonna
little creepy at
comfort?
the comforting
Yeah.
Which
aspect
is
of it.
now you've really blown my mind.
He's
by
not a
saying
father
he's got
figure to me.
Oh, no,
a
he
crush
wants that.
on
He's
Clarice.
the trickster in this too. You know, he tries to trick her in.
That's what I always took from it. Is he's
Yeah.
kind of like a dick, but I didn't go like he's like.
He's like a dirt.
Well, even the fact that he tries to set her up and
Untucked.
you know, like for failure, like, you know, they don't expect her to get anything, but yet they're sending her in, almost kind of as bait.
Yes, yeah.
And a lot of
Totally.
people, you know, didn't
And
catch
the way
that
he
part of it.
The
belittles her,
great
too,
thing
in the
about this
beginning.
movie is this is one of the first times you see a really strong female character, and they depict her in a male-dominated world, and she still comes out on top because she, at the end, she's just out of.
Yeah,
Just
she's not even an
graduated.
FBI
She's a
agent
cadet.
yet.
Yeah.
She's
Not
a
even
cadet.
She's
Yeah.
a cadet, and she goes and first of all, probably breaks all FBI rules.
they would
but she goes,
never.
I'm going to go to Buffalo Bill's house,
By myself.
check it out by myself because I got a Southern accent.
Yeah, there's not a moment in time right there where they're like, whoa, hold up, we'll send backup. They're just like, yeah, cool, we're going to go check it out too. We're going to go to our house, you go to your house, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you go
Don't
around
worry,
back, we'll go
Clarice,
around front, we'll
we
see.
got him.
Yeah, we totally got him. We got the flower guys
can
ringing the doorbell right
relax.
now. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, that part
yeah.
always cracked me up on that. They send the flower guy in there, you know, like, oh, this
Even
is.
the flower guy doesn't believe it. He's looking back
No.
at them like,
Are you guys really going to
For
send me
real?
here? Like,
I'm going to die.
Yeah.
I don't think he had a
Well, wait a minute,
vest
does
or
the flower
anything on
guy
either.
the flower guy go to the right house?
No.
He goes to the wrong
See, it's
the
just like
it's the
speed.
decoy.
It's like
Yeah,
speed
it's
where
like
they go.
Speed.
Everything is about speed.
Yeah.
Everything
Really?
reverts back to
Really,
speed.
Bo?
Wildcat.
Bo knows speed.
Bo knows some speed.
Bo knows.
We're going to get sued by Bo Jackson's people.
Who's Bo Jackson?
Who is that? Is that one of
I
Michael's
don't
brothers?
know Bo.
Not until you
Obviously.
said his name. Now we're going.
Shit.
Yeah, I
Edit
know.
that
Good
out.
job.
We'll
Now we
fix
all-
it in post.
Yeah, post edit. Post edit.
We're all going to be tucking. Look at the
Oh,
lovely
love this.
wig
Yeah.
that Hannibal has.
You know, one thing I noticed
It's
too watching
really
this is how
very Bon Jovi.
look at how this storm moves in
Take
right
that.
at the end
I'm
here.
from New Jersey.
He's
Take
got
that
to
back.
hold his hat the whole walk at the end of this because there's so much clearly in the Bahamas somewhere tropical.
That's called a fan on set.
No, watch
Yeah,
this. Watch. There's dark skies. You know, I mean, he's sitting there. We got sun.
Chilled.
We got all kinds of.
Oh, he's going after children, right?
Oh yeah, in the
That's-
following, yes.
that's
You
the-
know who has a
that's the
delicious
liver.
liver? Chilton.
Ew. Nasty.
Chilton and census takers.
I like his tweed suit jacket.
But look, I mean,
I don't know what it is, actually.
there's a storm happening.
Maybe
now.
it's seersucker because it's, it's.
So he does obviously look like he's in like Haiti or Dominican Republic.
He looks like a rich white guy in the Dominican Republic.
With a wig.
And a
It
seersucker
actually does
suit.
look like the Dominican Republic. I think I've been there. I've been to that house.
There you are.
That's me. Oh my God. No
Holy
wonder this movie
shit.
scared me. It was so real.
It happened right in front
Wait,
of my
but you
eyes.
just pointed to a group of all black people and said, there you are.
Look, man,
And?
I saw your Adult Swim thing.
that's exactly where my head went. My head totally saw him in all that makeup.
It was a tan. It's a
Yeah.
George
It was
Hamilton tan.
quite. It was. It was very Hamilton.
They did. They took it
Hey,
oompa.
look at the
I thought it was
FBI.
kind of like a oompa
FBI
oompa, but
It
like
was.
It does look like
a
that.
bit orange.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little
but
bit on the orange side, but
classy.
little
Well, if you guys
Trump-esque.
are nice, I'll post
but he's
my,
also taller. He's a lot taller, you know.
It's true.
So
A
Thank you.
lot.
Thank you for that.
Couple inches. It's cool.
I ran into
Just
George
for you.
Hamilton in Las Vegas once, but I was dressed as a Ferengi, so it was really awkward. It was for the groundbreaking of the Star Trek experience, and I'm like, blah 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 blah, I'm a Ferengi, and I like turned around. George Hamilton's there, and he just like smiles and nods, and I'm like, ha. Then cried my big head to sleep that night.
Did you have the big ears?
Yes,
and-
it with big ears,
So-
head orange, with a green jumpsuit that was too tight around my crotch.
Well,
So what are you doing
that's
for the,
what
that's
that's what they do. Ferengis. That's how
They've
they
got the
dress.
Star Wars
I should have
opening
tucked.
this year.
if I had learned anything from Silence of the Lambs, is always tuck.
That's the Ferengi way.
Because people will want to
Tuck.
fuck you. Will you fuck me? What if I tuck you?
Only if you're Ferengi.
And then Star Trek came after us.
Ew.
Are you dressing up for Star Wars this year? Star Wars Land? Star Wars World?
No.
Disney World?
Did they ask me to? Are they
No,
paying?
I'm just saying,
If they
you
pay
did
me,
it
I'll
for
dress
Star
up
Trek,
as
so-
I'll dress up like Hermione and go down to Harry Potter land.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Mr.
I'm
Potter,
They
Mr.
don't have
Potter.
to pay me. I'll go with you.
Yes.
Do that too.
You should wear
I will
you should wear your
pay for my
headphones like you have
way.
now and just be Princess Leia.
Yeah, you do kind of look like right now.
Princess
Done
Leia
and-
orgasm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite characters.
The best.
Migs.
Spooge.
All right, so that was a fun.
It was awesome.
It was fun for us.
Hey, listen,
It
it
was
was
awesome.
fun for us.
Yeah.
You know, we want to thank everybody for listening to the Adult Beverage Podcast. This podcast has been brought to
Tell me
you
how
by
much
our
Chianti
sponsor,
was
Brick's
drank.
Wood-Fired Pizza, where they bring people together. Be sure to visit adultbeverage.org to join our conversation, access the show notes, and discover our fantastic bonus content. You have just listened to the Adult Beverage with your hosts, Patrick, Laura, and Kent. We'll see you next time.